Whatever you're into, if you fall in love with something, it doesn't feel like work. And I remember for many years growing up, I was wondering what did I want to do. I knew other people who were sure they wanted to do this or that, and I was quite jealous, thinking, I wish I'd had that. Looking back, I think it doesn't really matter that you can try many things, but when you do suddenly find something that you clearly feel that's grabbed you, that's when you've got to really, leap at the chance. The BBC had a TV strand called Video Diaries, where they gave members of the public a video camera and they wanted them to film their lives. And someone fell out, and at short notice they gave me a video camera because I was working for GQ magazine. And that was my first ever documentary. And because I didn't know how to be a news journalist, I would ask people, what they ate and non-news questions, and that was seen as quite unusual and a better way to understand people in a region. I woke up one morning, suddenly felt consciously happy because I suddenly found something I loved doing. I was making documentaries, but in fact, my overwhelming memory is of all the kindness. In more than a decade, everywhere I went, in villages in Afghanistan, Iraq, people would always invite me into their home and give me food. Their concerns and fears and wants were the same as ours. Like quite a lot of my documentaries, when I initially tried to get them off the ground, people said, that's not a very good idea, we don't like that. You've got to have a lot of self-belief and determination. My best friend is someone at school who was pivotal in my career, who was an inspiration. He came into my school and I was sort of like Jack the lad, a little bit too cool for school. And he came in and sort of slightly broadened my horizons and said, it's all very well being cool at 16, but if you want to actually do some things, you don't always need to go with the crowd. And I think it's very important to get out of the way we see the world. There are expectations on all of us. They kind of hem us in a bit, and it's quite nice to try and bring yourself out of that. Now, if you're a journalist trying to tell stories about the world, it's really important, because if you just see it through your own perspective, it's very hard to understand the other side. In Helmand, Afghanistan, this Taliban commander said to me, pulled me aside after the interview. This was about 6 months before I got kidnapped. And he said, look, I thought we should let you know this. Before you came down, we took a vote on whether to kill you, kidnap you, or let you do the interview. And we voted to do the interview, but you'll never know which way the vote goes until it's too late. Despite his warnings, it was, I think, 3 months after that, I crossed the border to film in secret Taliban, Al-Qaeda training camps, and that's when I was kidnapped. Most kidnap stories start with an abduction, like in the movies. You see someone with a hood put in, bundled into the back of a car. Mine was different because they said it was a trick. I thought I was filming with them, so I went willingly. I was kidnapped for about 3 days before I realized. The commander walked in bearing gifts. He read out a piece of paper saying, you are hereby accused of working for foreign enemy governments. And I went to my translator, I said, oh God, we've been kidnapped. And he said, no, we're dead because they kill spies. I was put in a family home in a room. One of the guys spoke pidgin English. He said, you have an ensuite bathroom. And I looked in this dark room as we walked in, and I was expecting, ensuite is like French for it's a bathroom off the, and I was looking, I couldn't see it, and his ensuite bathroom was a hole in on the floor. And then the Taliban came in and built for privacy a little brick wall so we could squat in privacy. But that was also difficult because then I realized we were there for a long time. There was just a bit of light through a window which was boarded up. So there was light until about 1 o'clock, and then I was in darkness. I lost 3 stone. I had malnutrition, and my 5 teeth fell out because lack of sunlight, vitamin D. It was like a movie. They used to open up this door and throw the food on the floor. And having worked in the Middle East and Afghanistan for many years, I knew about local culture, so I would get up and thank them and praise Allah, etc. And slowly won them over. The women were hearing how I had malnutrition, so they started preparing better food. And the trouble was, it was in the mountains. It's hard to get fresh food in spring. So they would travel for 3 hours to get some herbs so I could get vitamins. I don't regret the experience. I would have obviously regretted it had it ended differently. I've never felt so connected to my loved ones and friends back home in London. In the movies, you see people scratching on a nail the days of the week, and that's not a good way because you're just seeing the days pass. So I would have extended daydreaming of 2 hours. After a few months, you get so good at this. So I would think, right, which airline, I'm going to go to Heathrow, is it Virgin or BA, or what film are we watching, what do I eat on the plane? And you have this detailed daydream, and then suddenly you're there and it's real for 2 hours and you've escaped the room. There was a time when I was told I was going to be executed. But when you know your life's about to end, you suddenly have this lovely sense of how amazing life is. This man I met said to me, freedom is like oxygen. You only really appreciate it when it's taken away from you. And so I know if I was sitting where you are now and someone's saying to me, life is an amazing but fragile thing, please use it as much as possible to get the most out of it for your own self. It's kind of like, yeah, whatever. But when I was told you're now coming out to the compound, I remembered my first taste of a peach, that holiday, my first kiss, all those lovely memories are flooding back, and all I was thinking was, God, I'm never going to have anything like that again. I was released and I was put into a burqa, women's clothes. Right? That's how I got handed over to the FBI in Pakistan, and then I came home and saw my kids.